Hey guys, this is Zona with Christian Influencer Inspired, and we are doing Prophetic to Practical Mondays. And I wanted to be able to let you know what happened in my life. So I actually went to a church service at a place that I don't normally go to, and it was really cool. I heard a gentleman speak, and he was giving a prophetic word, and he is very specific. He actually went through, hey, by the way, and he was talking about like he would give prophetic words, but he would give like uh, family members' names that he couldn't have possibly known, and like names of kids and names of other people. So let me know if you guys can hear me because this is live. Finally got able to get my webcam connected so that I could go live. But hello. Um, and as he was praying for people, he had gotten a word. Now, in this word, he said that he knew people that were recently thinking of cancer as a as like something that could possibly be going on. And I had recently um, thought, something just isn't right. Something is feeling wrong. And it was so crazy. It was like he took the words right out of my head. So for me, I actually had uh, a lump that I noticed that was really hard and it was starting to get painful. And I would say it was probably an inch. I don't have any pictures because um, it is in an area of which you cannot take pictures. So, which is sometimes, really awkward to talk about or to say anything about. So I'd really been trying to decide, do I go to the doctor and get this looked at or do I not? But it had been significant enough that I could definitely tell. So he just kind of called out that he had heard of, prophetically, that people were thinking of the word cancer, specifically breast cancer, and that any lumps or anything would just dissolve. And at first, I'm like, I mean, I feel like that's me. Like, you know how when you can feel the Holy Spirit come over you and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a word for me. And you're like, okay, I receive that. But at the same time, like, you can't just check that area, if you know what I mean. So, when I was able to get home and to actually look over the affected area, which for me was, my breast, it was so crazy. The lump had completely dissolved. Everything that it had been kind of firm and red, and it had been that way for about a month. And, at that point, I'm like, it's only a month. I have no history of breast cancer. I have no history of any type of issue like that in my whole family line, not on my mom's side, not on my dad's side. And it was just so cool. And I remember thinking, like, it felt, the same density, the same everything as the other breast as it had before. All of this had come up. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Praise the Lord that He does things like that and that He is healing people today. So, how crazy is that? That one of my very first experiences of 2021, stepping out in faith, doing these prophetic to practical Mondays, ended up being a prophetic word for me that resulted in this healing. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So we just give God the glory. We're so grateful that He uses things like the prophetic, even for healing, for stuff like this. So if you guys have had an experience like that, definitely let me know in the comments because I want to hear your testimonies too. And if you guys are struggling with something that you need prayer for, definitely make sure that you let me know that as well. I did want to share that with you guys. I'm so excited that I was able to do that. And I wanted to kind of let you know, kind of picking up where we were last week of how the Lord was talking to us about not bringing in unforgiveness, not bringing in offense, and getting rid of false authority on our lives at the end of 2021. It's really cool just to see how the Lord is expanding vision and how when you get rid of that unforgiveness, it really opens a way for the Lord to bring healing in an area of your life. And I was actually able to share my testimony of how I walked through from unforgiveness and bitterness and the vision that the Lord had of my heart, or that He physically showed me. Um, and I did share that in the last video. So make sure that you go ahead and check out the last video. It's in this specific playlist. Um, but I was so excited because I was able to share my testimony of getting forgiveness in situations that are still going on, and how you can get freedom from unforgiveness, even if you don't get to be out of the situation, even if you still have to be around somebody that is doing the same thing that they were doing, because they either don't see a problem with it, or don't see it as an issue, or maybe they're just not at that level of healing yet. And as Christians, we get to still be involved with people that are broken and in process, because we are broken and in process. So kind of building on that, I was able to share my testimony of what walking through that looked like with several different people this last week, probably about 8 different people. And they were able to start getting some healing, some inner healing and forgiveness, and really seeing the Lord change the guard on their heart from being self protected, from trying to take on everything on their own and guard their heart. Because while we are supposed to guard our hearts from evil and things like that, the thing that I think a lot of us get wrong is that we think by building a wall around our hearts ourselves, self protection, like the real, like, I gotta take care of me, you put yourself in survival mode, that sort of a thing. You don't realize you actually block yourself off from receiving love, from being in deep connection, of really being able to have that intimacy in your life, in your relationships. And I really believe that that is one of the words for 2021 is connection, relationship, family. But also, I feel like the Lord is saying it's time to go on the offensive. It's time to stop playing defense and going, man, what's going to happen next? Oh my gosh, I don't know how to prepare. Should I be worried? Should I not be worried? Is this going to work, or is that going to work? Just don't do that at all. He's saying focus on going on the offensive. So if you guys have prophetic words that you would like to help me, have me help you unpack, so you can get strategy, so you can get wisdom, I would be more than happy to walk through that with you. If you go to at Christian Influencer Inspired at on Instagram, I'll actually put that in the comment. Um, then I can actually DM you back and forth, and I can help you unpack the prophetic words that you have over your life to start getting some traction, getting some strategy to know what to say yes to know what not to say yes to. And I think that's one of the pieces that we miss when we're trying to, or when we're first starting to get scripture and prophecy and identity, and we have this mix of things that we're going, what does this mean? How do these things line up? What if it doesn't look like it lines up at all? And that happens. That's a real life thing. So when you have these prophetic things going on, and you're working toward, getting strategy, or even taking some of the anxiety out of life, of what to agree to, what not to agree to, can you move forward in a direction? Should you pause for a moment? Those sort of things. So, guys, with this being go time for you, this is the time of year. Well, not just year. This is a season right now in January in 2021 to really go through and pull out the prophetic words that you've gotten, and to really start categorizing them and going, what pieces do I have? What things are confirming each other? Also, going back through and going, what prophetic words do I have that have already come to pass? Because those become your personal testimonies of how the Lord gave you insight, He gave you wisdom, He gave you discernment through that prophecy for your life and for you to be able to take action in what you're doing right now to get where you're at right this minute. So while 2020 started off really great and ended up a little discouraging for most people, one of the things that was really, really good for me is I did get 2020 vision. Most people did not see how it was going to happen, myself included, but they did get 2020 vision on the things that are important, on the things that matter, on the things that they were doing out of obligation, on the things that they were doing out of expectation or a commitment to a person, but maybe that was something they said yes to because they liked them or they wanted to help a ministry, they wanted to volunteer, they wanted to work here, or they wanted to help this thing out, but it really didn't line up with who they were. So this really gives us a clean slate. Now, please understand, there are people that have really gone through terrible things, and I am not downplaying that at all. I myself have had people affected by COVID in multiple ways. But this is an opportunity for you to really go back and go, first of all, what do I want in my life? What are the pieces that I need to have in my life that I've been missing? So for me, that is connection and finding ways to connect with people where it's still socially distanced, where we're still healthy, where we're still seeing people face to face, because that face to face connection is even better than this right here on YouTube. But having the face to face connection to go, I see you, you see me, and this is really important that we see where we're struggling. We can pray for each other, and even without being able to physically lay hands on each other or whatever, still being able to sit together and to pray together in person, it really amplifies that. One can put 1,000 to flight and two can put 10,000 to flight, which really helps to kind of see breakthrough. So in the last probably 6 weeks, I've been trying to be intentional, with people that it's like, okay, I know you're not sick. I know you've taken your temperature. I know you've paid attention to the warning signs. You haven't been around somebody that is infected, but just getting with other believers face to face. And the cool thing is I'm seeing deliverances happen. I'm seeing breakthroughs happen. I'm seeing prophetic insight and strategy happen so that people can make strategic transitions. There are strategic transitions when you take an specifically like offensive action toward what you're supposed to go to instead of waiting to react to what the enemy is going to do, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for something else bad to happen. Because I promise, if that's what you're focused on, that is absolutely what you will see. But when you start going on the offensive and going, all right, so one of my friends and I just had a conversation, and I was like, you know what? When I was struggling with, for instance, fear of failure, I literally went and I'm like, okay, I am going to do whatever I can to fail as fast and as often as I can. And I don't know if any of you know of anything that helps you do that better than network marketing. So I joined a network marketing company and I heard no all the time. But what happened was I got kind of desensitized to it. I didn't feel like a personal sting anymore, like a personal rejection. I didn't feel like they were saying like I didn't matter or they didn't like me anymore. All of a sudden, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have something, whether that's a testimony, whether that's a word from the Lord, but it isn't going to be for everybody, but it is going to be for the ones that are supposed to be there, that are supposed to be listening, that are supposed to stand up. So when you start doing those things and you go on the offensive, so instead of waiting and being like, man, I really hope that nobody, rejects me today. I really hope that I'm okay and like I'm in good standing with people. When you start going on the offensive and you're like, no, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do the thing that I need to do. And I'm going to do it even if I hear no. Even if I hear no 100 times, it's the same process in going on the offensive to get a breakthrough and to get healing for, fear of failure, as it was for me the process of going from unforgiveness to forgiveness. So when I did that, I didn't wait and go, gee, I wish that I would be able to forgive these people. And, they really owe me an apology. And, they really wronged me. Guess what, guys? They did really wrong me. And I did need an apology at first. And I was absolutely feeling like this was unjust and it was not okay. And I shouldn't have had to even ask for an apology. And then I realized if I went on the offensive, which I didn't think of it in those words, I'm saying that like this right now. But what my thought process was is I'm going to go after forgiveness, not for them, but for me. And I know people say that, and when you're stuck and you've had something really wrong happen to you, it doesn't sound right. It sounds like you're letting them off easy. It sounds like they're just getting away with it scot free. But guess what? We don't get away with anything scot free. We don't. That's just truth. So while we think that us forgiving them is going to let them go, it's going to let them have, whatever they want. They're going to be footloose and fancy free. What it really does is it lets you walk footloose and fancy free into your future. It makes everything so. The visual that the Lord would give me is like a closed fist. So let's say something happens to you and it's like a trigger, right? And it causes you to close your fist. And when you close your fist, can you receive money? No. Can you get rid of money? No, you can't because it's closed. There's no movement in and there's no movement out, and that's all you know. So then that situation, it means that people can't get in with love. They can't get in with joy. They can't get in with happiness. You can't receive any of the things, but also you're not getting rid of negative thoughts, negative emotions. You're not able to let those things go. So all of a sudden, you're dealing with bitterness. You're dealing with resentment. You're dealing with hopelessness. So the situation that you're seeing, that's all you can see because everything else is closed in around that thing, and it causes your vision to just go completely dark. So when you're doing that, you're setting yourself free to open the hand again and go, okay, Jesus, I don't like this situation. It wasn't right. It's not fair. I don't believe this was your best for my life. But I also know people have free will and they're going to make choices. And the choice I choose to make is to be in a position to both give and to receive the things that I need, whether that's love, whether that's hope, whether that's joy, whether that's enjoyment in the situation that you're in, even though things aren't perfect. Because, guys, just because it turned 2020 doesn't mean 2021 from 2020 doesn't mean everything fixed overnight. It's not like the switch of 12:01 midnight was like everything's better now. Ding, back to normal. We live in an age where our normal is different, and we're gonna have to figure out what normal looks like. But it's so much better to go on the offensive and to go, okay, I'm going to break this down one step at a time. And I'm going to go, okay, I forgive them for this part. I forgive them for this word that they said about me. I forgive them for this thing that I hear in my head all the time. I'm too much. I'm not enough. I'm too loud. I'm too quiet. I'm too tall or too short or whatever it is that you hear in your head that kind of came out of that situation. You get to choose, even if it's one little piece at a time. And guys, if the only piece that you can do is go, I choose not to listen anymore that I'm, too much or not enough. Just taking that one piece, even if there's a whole bundle of stuff that's wrapped up together in the process of what you have to give unforgiveness for. Just take one piece and go, okay, this string right here, this one, this is the one, and I'm going to forgive this piece. And guess what? It gets easier you start getting a little more freedom. You start getting a little more clarity. You're able to receive prophetically again. You're able to see again. You're able to hear the voice of the Lord better because you have those veils taken off of you. So I am so glad that you guys are here tonight. I am excited to hear about you getting freedom and you having those veils torn off and you being able to see prophetically, to be able to hear prophetically, to have wisdom and understanding so that that can lead into real, accurate strategy for your life. And for 2021 to be a year of prophetic insight, of strategy, of wisdom, of discernment, and massive offensive action toward who you are and who you're supposed to be in every area of your life. So, guys, make sure you, if you like the Christian Influencer inspired videos on the Gather and Flourish channel, that you would like these videos so we know to keep making them, but also so we can keep showing up and spreading the gospel and sharing what the Lord is doing. Like, how amazing is that to be able to hear a testimony of God's goodness and hearing of actual like lumps being healed on the body? And that's just my testimony. That doesn't include everybody else's. So hopefully you'll get to hear those some of those stories in the upcoming weeks as well. I will be checking back with them to see what other things that they received about that. But in the meantime, guys, please put in the comments anything I can pray for you about. If there's any questions that you have as far as prophetic insight that you would like to have me kind of pray through and see if I get anything from the Lord, I will be very honest with you. If I don't get anything, I will let you know. Because sometimes the Lord will tell me things like it's for them to know, or, I really want to deal with them directly, and I'm not going to make something up. So if that's the answer that the Lord gives me, then that's the answer that you'll get too. And I want to make sure that you guys are getting only the most authentic, the most real, the most accurate. So these are prophetic insights that I'm actually getting through prayer and worship and intercession, even based on reading dreams, visions, interpretations, open visions, uh, any way that the Lord kind of speaks to you prophetically. So yeah, make sure you are looking for that to Instagram me on at Christian Influencer Inspired, and that way you'll get directly to me. But guys, make sure you like the video, make sure you comment down below, and most importantly, make sure you are sharing this with a friend that needs to hear a testimony that God is in the business of healing cancer today and that it absolutely is possible. Build up their faith, build up your faith. Listen to these testimonies over and over again because our God is good and He is moving right now. You guys have a great rest of your night, and we will see you next Monday. And we're going to keep going live like this so you guys can see and interact with me. So if you guys write in the comments during one of these live videos, I can actually respond to you right away. All right, guys, we will see you next Monday, and you have a great rest of your night.